What's up guys, welcome back to Money Grow, the channel all about making your money grow. This is the 13th episode of my 100k wheel strategy portfolio. I'm filming this video on Thursday, December 17th after the market closed. So it's been 87 days since I started trading in this account. My net account value, if I were to liquidate my account today and buy back all my open positions, is $106,076. And the cash balance of the account, which counts all the cash collateral I used to open my positions, plus any cash I received from premiums, is currently sitting at $108,558. I made a total of 2 trades since my last episode, and I'm excited to share the updates with you guys. Before we continue, I just want to give a quick shout out to my amazing Patreon supporters. We have our Crow CEO Jorge Ledesma and our 4 Crow investors Prismatic, Erica, Andrew Paz, and John Harden. Thank you all so much for your continued support. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my Patreon page where I post every single time I make a trade in my $100,000 portfolio. If you support the channel on there as a level 8 or higher supporter, you'll always be notified whenever I make a trade, and you'll be the first to see those updates. So you're able to follow my trades and even copy them if you wanted to, but of course, always do your own research and never just blindly follow what someone else is doing. So if that's something that interests you, I'll have a link to my Patreon in the description. Another easy way to help out the channel is by clicking my 3 different referral links so we can both get free stocks and free cash. For a limited time, Webull is giving away 4 free stocks, and One Finance is giving away $10 in cash, and Robinhood is giving away a free stock like Apple or Facebook or many others when you sign up. Links are all in the description. Thank you guys. So let's jump right back into my portfolio. I started this account 87 days ago with a clean 100k, and you can see I now have a cash balance of $108,558. That excess amount is all premium I collected from running the wheel option selling strategy. If you don't know what that is, or you just want a refresher, please watch my explanation video. I'll attach a card right there so you can click and watch. On the screen now is the spreadsheet that I show every single episode that my friend made for me, which helps me track a ton of useful information. As you can see, some of the rows are missing because the spreadsheet has just become too large for one single screenshot, but you can still see the majority of my trades, including all my currently open positions. In my description, I've left a link for the template of the spreadsheet, that way you can make a copy of it and use it for your own. That version is completely free, but if you want viewing access to this exact version that you see on the screen, I update it pretty regularly after making trades, and I'm granting viewing access to all my level 8 and up Patreon supporters. So if that's something that interests you, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon. Again, the link will be in the description. Thank you. This is the front page of my Webull account where you can see all my open positions. I'll put it back on the screen in a bit, but I wanted to show that I currently only have a liquid cash balance of $808, which means I'm using $107,750 of my available cash balance as collateral, which is 99.25% of my total cash. My cash utilization rate is exactly where I want it, which is over 90% and ideally as close as possible to 99%. I do like leaving a little bit of liquid cash in there, that way I can buy back open contracts when I'm able to lock in the majority of the premium received. As you can see from the unrealized percentage gains on these positions, they're all in the green. And depending how Beyond Meat and Salesforce perform next week, I might be closing those out and rolling my collateral to some new plays. If you guys enjoy this type of content, I would really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you guys so much. Let's continue where we left off from the last episode. We're now on update 85 from my Patreon updates. Update 85 is PFE Pfizer. Pfizer is a new stock on my watch list, and this is the first time I've ever sold puts on this company. A while back, before Pfizer filed to have its vaccine authorized for emergency use, I remember reading some articles that were explaining how the companies able to create and roll out the most used vaccines would stand to generate about $14 billion in revenue. In a more recent article published on November 18th by S&P Global Market Intelligence, they explain how Pfizer and its partner BioNTech were the first to have a vaccine efficacy result over 90%, with a final result being 95% efficient. They estimate that Pfizer's vaccine is expected to pull in more than $8 billion in revenue by the end of 2021, which will be split, of course, by Pfizer and their partner BioNTech. The companies have already signed supply deals for a number of countries for millions of doses. However, while those numbers sound huge, and they are huge, we still have to think in relative terms because Pfizer is already an enormous company. If you guys weren't aware, Pfizer is a massive pharmaceutical giant boasting a market cap over $200 billion. If we take a look at their income statement, we can see that since 2016, they've had about $50 billion in revenue each and every year. Their net income, however, has fluctuated greatly. In 2016, it was $7.2 billion, 2017 jumped to $21.3 billion, which was their best recent year. 2018 was $11.1 billion, and 2019 was $16.2 billion. We can see that their TTM, which also stands for trailing 12 months, is at $8.6 billion. So unfortunately, both their top line and their bottom line is suffering due to the pandemic. I'll get more into their financials in a minute, but I just want to talk about what it means to be such a large player in the pharmaceutical space and still be the first to the table and come out with such an effective vaccine. And although the vaccine will generate a non-insignificant amount of revenue for them, I think this is more of a statement from the company as a whole saying that they haven't gotten complacent. Even though they're one of the top dogs, they're still innovating and they're still able to beat everyone else when it comes to bringing out high-demand vaccines to combat these widespread illnesses. I think that's an amazing accomplishment for Pfizer, and it shows that they've earned their spot as the largest pharmaceutical company in the world, and that they're using their resources properly. Now let's take a look at their stock price and stock charts. Over the past year, they're down 3.32%, largely due to their slightly declining revenue and their bottom line being hurt. However, with them being the big player for making the vaccines, and with the world hopefully back to normal in the coming years, they're priced attractively for a long-term hold. The reason this stock hit my radar is because they're down almost 10% in just 1 week. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to have some skin in the game with Pfizer. The 3 puts I sold generated $309 in premium, and honestly I hope they do continue dropping in price, that way I get assigned some shares. I'd be very comfortable buying shares at my strike price of $36.50. If we look at their all-time stock chart, we can pretty much buy Pfizer for the same price it was trading at 20 years ago. I would argue that they've come a very long way and are absolutely undervalued just from that data point alone. Capital structure shows that massive market cap I was talking about earlier of $210 billion. Their debt is a little bit concerning, but with their cash pile, and if they can bring back that net income to $15 billion or more, then there's not really that much to worry about, especially with debt being so cheap and the Fed promising to hold interest rates at 0%. Income statement shows almost $50 billion in revenue, which aligns with the revenue from its previous 4 years. Gross profit is an enormous chunk of that, and net income is still huge even though they've taken a big hit from the pandemic. Profitability demonstrates a huge gross profit margin, which is sought after by so many companies, and with the size of Pfizer, that's really impressive that it's still so high. Their net income margin is at a very decent 17.85%. I personally like this number to be at least 15%, and with Pfizer's high probability of doubling that net income number over the next few years, hopefully, I think Pfizer really meets that criteria. Their dividend is actually another great reason to consider Pfizer. Their current yield is at 4.12%, which is more than double the S&P 500's current yield of 1.62%. They've been increasing that dividend over the past 11 years at a pretty nice rate because over the past 5 years, they've grown it at 6.72% per year. Valuation shows a really attractive forward PE of 13.24. With so much possibility for innovation in the pharmaceutical industry, I personally think that they should be trading at a much higher PE, so Pfizer seems like a great play from a value standpoint as well. We'll see how Pfizer's stock price moves through my expiration date of January 22nd, 2021, hopefully lower so I do get assigned some shares. If you guys are new to the channel, I've never been assigned shares in this account yet, which is kind of insane considering how many puts I've sold. But of course, the rising overall broad market has pushed up most stocks on my watch list. Update 86, which is the final update for today, is AT&T. AT&T has continued to rock back and forth between its $26 and $32 price range Since it came down a little bit to $29 after hitting $31 recently, I decided to sell one put with my remaining cash collateral and only leave $808 left in liquid cash. That's the same $808 that I went over earlier, just so I can buy back open contracts with it. If you guys are new to the series, I try to avoid getting repetitive with my analysis of stocks that I've already covered on the channel, so rather than deeply analyzing the same stocks multiple times, instead I'll point you guys to the episode where I explain my thought process for choosing the stock, which also includes an analysis of the financials of the company. For AT&T, that would be episode 3. Today was definitely a shorter update with only 2 trades since last episode, but I'm happy with the progress. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for next Friday's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed my 13th portfolio update. What did you guys think of this week's trades? And do you have any suggestions for next week's trades? Comment down below. I'll be reading every one of your comments. And remember, if you're interested in being the first to see all my trades, click on my Patreon link in the description, and don't forget to get your free stocks also in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching until the very end. I hope you'll be back for future videos, and as always, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, and comment. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.